You are scrolling through your feed right now, and somewhere in between the highlight reels, the new cars, the designer fits, the vacations, the weekend splurges, you feel it, that quiet pull, that voice that says, maybe you're missing out. Maybe everyone else figured something out that you haven't. Maybe you should be spending more, living more, showing more. This video is not for everyone. It's for the person who feels that pull and chooses to ignore it anyway. Let's talk about the world you live in. It is loud. Every single day, you are surrounded by noise. Someone just bought a car they can't afford and posted it like a trophy. Someone just booked a trip on a credit card that's already maxed out and captioned it living my best life. Someone's wearing shoes that cost more than their rent and feels like a king for exactly 48 hours. The world rewards the performance of wealth, not the thing itself. The performance, the bottle service, the haul videos, the flex, the treat yourself culture that never stops, never slows down, never asks where the money is actually coming from. And you watch it. Every day you watch it. And something in you wants to join in. Because that's what we're wired for. We are social creatures. We don't just want things. We want to be seen wanting them. We want to be seen having them. We want the moment where someone looks at us and thinks they're doing well. That feeling is ancient. It's biological. It is not weakness. But here's what no one tells you about that feeling. It never gets satisfied. The person who bought the car is already thinking about the next upgrade. The person on the vacation is already dreading coming home. The person in the designer clothes is already checking what's new next season. The spending never fills the hole. It just moves it somewhere else. And yet, you're still watching, still comparing, still wondering if maybe you're the one doing it wrong. Now let's talk about the quiet decision. It doesn't happen all at once. There's no dramatic moment, no revelation at 3 in the morning, no rock bottom. It's smaller than that. It's a Saturday afternoon when everyone's going out and you just don't. Not because you're sad, not because you're broke, but because something shifted inside you. You looked at the number in your account and you thought, what if I just let that grow? What if, instead of spending to feel something for a weekend, I held on to it? What if patience is the actual flex? That's the quiet decision. It doesn't make noise. No one applauds it. No one even sees it. You just sit with it. You sit with the discomfort of choosing differently. And you keep going. And then you start building. Quietly. Slowly. Without announcements. You start automating a transfer every month into an account you barely touch. You start saying no to things that used to feel mandatory. You stop buying things to fill time. You start actually tracking where your money goes, and for the first time, really for the first time, you see it clearly. You see every dollar that slipped away for nothing. Every subscription you forgot about. Every impulse buy you don't even remember making. And instead of guilt, you feel clarity. Because now you have a direction. It's not exciting. Let's be honest about that. There's no dopamine hit when you move money into savings. There's no rush when you say no to the night out. There's no one posting about it. It's invisible. And that invisibility is exactly what makes it powerful. Here's the hard part. The part no one really talks about. The doubt. You're going to feel it. You're going to be standing in a group of people who are all going somewhere, doing something, buying something, and you're going to wonder if you made the wrong call. You're going to see someone you know post about a trip and feel that sting in your chest. You're going to feel left out. Not just once. More than once. And that feeling is going to whisper to you. It's going to say, you're only young once. Life is short. Money comes and goes. Just this once. Just tonight. Just this one thing. That whisper is the most dangerous thing you will ever face in this process. Not the market. Not the economy. Not inflation. That whisper. Because the whisper isn't wrong exactly. Life is short. You only live once. But here's the thing it never finishes saying. You only live once, which means the consequences of your choices are permanent too. The person who spent every dollar at 30 will be working at 60. The person who built quietly at 30 will have options at 60. And options are what life is actually made of. Not the car. Not the shoes. Not the trip that's already over. The ability to say yes or no on your own terms. That's what you're actually building. And then, something shifts. It happens slowly enough that you almost miss it. 6 months in. Maybe a year. Maybe 2. You check the account you almost never touch, and the number surprises you. You didn't earn more. You didn't get lucky. You just kept going. And the number is sitting there. Quietly. Patiently. Like it was waiting for you to notice. And something happens in your chest. Not excitement exactly. Not the kind of rush you get from buying something. It's quieter than that. Warmer. It feels like the beginning of something. Like a door that used to be locked is slowly, barely, starting to open. And you realize this is what they meant. All those people who said start early. All those people who said spend less than you earn. All those things that sounded so basic, so boring, so obvious. They weren't describing a strategy. They were describing a feeling. This feeling, right here. The feeling of watching something grow that belongs entirely to you. Now let's talk about the gap. Because the gap is real, and it widens in ways you don't expect. At first, the difference between you and the people spending everything is invisible. Same apartment, same job, same life from the outside. But underneath, you're building. They're burning. 2 years in, you have an emergency fund. They don't. When the car breaks down, you handle it. They go into debt. When the opportunity shows up, the side project, the investment, the offer that requires a little risk, you can say yes. They can't. 3 years in, you're thinking about your first investment. They're still paying off last summer. 5 years in, you start to feel it in your daily life. The anxiety goes down. Not all the way, but down. You stop dreading the end of the month. You stop doing the mental math every time you buy groceries. You start sleeping differently. And that's when you realize what wealth actually is at its core. It's not the number. It's the feeling of not being at the mercy of everything. It's the feeling of having space. Space to breathe. Space to think. Space to choose. The people around you are still spending. Still performing. Still chasing. And you're not better than them. You're just on a different path now. A quieter one. And quieter, it turns out, is better. 10 years in. Let me paint you a picture of what 10 years of quiet building actually looks like. You wake up and you don't immediately check your account with that low-level dread. You have choices that other people your age don't have. You could take a month off work if you needed to. You have the cushion. You could move cities. You could start something. You could say no to a job that disrespects you. You don't have to stay anywhere out of financial desperation. And that is a kind of freedom that most people will live their entire lives without ever feeling. The people who were spending every dollar 10 years ago, some of them are fine. Some of them course-corrected. But some of them are still on the treadmill, working to pay off what they already spent, working to fund the image they built, trapped in jobs they hate because they have nothing behind them. No cushion, no options, no room to move. And here you are, not rich necessarily, maybe not yet, but free in a way that money can't fully capture. Free from the cycle, free from the performance, free from the exhaust of constantly consuming to feel okay. Here's what the quiet builders know that the loud spenders never figure out. Peace is the premium product. Not the car. Not the shoes. Not the followers who don't know your name. Peace. The ability to sit with yourself without needing something to buy your mood back. The ability to look at your future and not flinch. The ability to make a decision based on what you actually want, not what you can barely afford if you stretch it. That's what you built. Not just a number in an account. A life with actual room in it. Room for the things that matter. Room for rest. Room for real experiences, the kind that don't require you to go into debt to prove you're living. And here's the thing about the quiet decision. It never stops paying you back. Every month you chose differently. Every time you said no to the noise. Every time you sat with the discomfort instead of spending it away. You were paying your future self. And your future self, the one you're becoming right now, is grateful. That version of you doesn't have to panic. Doesn't have to fake it. Doesn't have to perform. That version of you just lives. Actually lives. Not for the grid. Not for the approval. Not for the weekend rush that fades by Monday morning. For real. So here's what I want you to carry with you when this video ends. You don't have to announce it. You don't have to explain it to anyone. You don't have to justify the quiet life you're choosing. Let them spend. Let them post. Let them perform. You just keep building. One decision at a time. 1 month at a time. One quiet, invisible, powerful choice at a time. Because the gap between you and where you started is already widening. And 10 years from now, when you're sitting somewhere that feels like freedom, when you have options that other people your age are only dreaming about, you'll think back to this moment. The moment you decided to go quiet. And you'll know, it was always the right call. They spent their whole lives trying to look wealthy. You spent yours actually becoming it. And nobody saw it coming. That's the point.